Welcome to The Other Side. Our conversation series features in-depth discussions with friends, artists, collaborators, and unique personalities within the Bassnectar universe. Available at www.unlocktheotherside.com. Thanks for joining us. Today I am hanging out with Vivid from Siren Sound Syndicate. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing quite well. I'm drinking coffee, and do you want to talk a bit about just your kind of musical journey?
Sure, yeah. I started off as a spoken word artist, so writing a lot of poetry that just kind of was driven to transport people into other places and adding music to that, performing on stage, and basically just spilling my entire soul out in front of many, many, many people. So I got real comfortable with being on a microphone and, letting my soul kind of be on a stage and be witnessed. And that transformed into being a vocalist. I was in a band. I was in a couple of different groups that had different projects, one called Hummingbird Thunder. I always have had a very deep respect for all different kinds of music and genres of music. I grew up right outside of San Francisco, and my favorite thing to do is to save up all my money and to take the bus over to Amoeba Music or Rasputin and to just buy as many CDs as possible and just fill my whole entire being with music. So it reached a point where I said, damn, I want to do more with this passion that I have. I want to be a DJ. I want to be able to put all my favorite songs together and blend them in such a way and display my exploration of music to the world around me.
And was it kind of like to rock a party, like play a set and make folks dance, or was it more like maybe at first a creative personal thing where you're like, I just want to try blending this song from this genre into that song from that genre? Initially I wanted to be able to record myself and do my own production and just explore creation in that way. And then it turned into, okay, you know what? I actually want to rock parties. I want the feeling of just having people unified and enjoying the journey that you're taking them on. And then I was kind of ready to be in a position where I was behind other people's sound, and allowing that sound to be more present and allow my voice to be in the background and to be more of an observer of the crowd instead of the vocalist. I love that. Do you want to share a little bit about the flip side, not just originating music or broadcasting it or performing, and more like the event coordination? I know that you were involved in a lot of events in the past and also in the intent of the event. So do you want to talk a little bit about Siren Sound Syndicate and what the vision is?
So when it comes to Siren Sound Syndicate, I've always had that passion, like you said, to unify and network. And so when we started working together and doing music together, and it just occurred to me, I'm like, I want to be more involved in the unification of a revival, like a sense of revival, a sense of like a foundation that is going to support the Bassnectar community in a way that we can flourish.
Yeah, I love you for that. Specifically because, you have that mama bear spirit. You have 3 children?
I have 3 children, yeah.
Yeah, and also as an artist, I was pretty surprised that anyone had the audacity to kind of step to you. And I know as we were going into Wildstyle, a couple of them tried, and it was embarrassing for them. I felt embarrassed for them.
Yeah.
Just to like publicly expose themselves as like bullying or attacking this gorgeous, powerful, well-intended woman with these kind of just ludicrous claims. And so I had so much extra respect for how you held your own and stayed true and didn't like get baited into conflict and get down into the fray, but also the bullshit rolled off of you really well. And it was so fake, and it was just this posturing and posing keyboard warriors and people who are spreading
nonsense. And so I'd love to kind of hear a bit of how that affected you emotionally, having people attack you, and also just your kind of larger perspective on the false narratives and the attempts to kind of diminish the light of the Bassnectar community.
Yeah, that was like, you know what? Fuck them. Like, I've already been through so much in my life. Like, I have, my intention in my life has, even though I've been through a lot of different chapters of hardship and suffering, my intention has always been to keep my heart open and keep the preciousness of my heart, like, available to be seen and felt, and to live my life through that. So for me, when I'm in that place, like, it doesn't matter what people say. I had some people be like, "Oh, you're so disgusting to take a show with Bassnectar. How dare you as a mother?" And I'm just like, "Are you serious? Like, who takes the time to do this?" I mean, the voices of the haters is very actually quite small. The amount of love I received was far superior to the amount of haters. And really, they don't know anything about what they're talking about. There's so much misinformation spread. There's so much that just proves all of this as complete slander and bullshit. And then my fierce mama bear came in, and I'm like, you know what? I feel really like the same kind of fierce protection I feel over my children, over like this whole community. Like, how can I be of service as a woman and a mother in a position to help illuminate the truth and help to dissolve a lot of this insane, ridiculous misinformation that's been spreading like a TMZ show.
Totally TMZ.
Yeah.
EDM, TMZ, clickbait.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so to not focus too much on the bullshit, what would you say that the truth is that you want to radiate?
I've known you for 20 years, and I know that you have never raped or assaulted or abused any woman. And everyone reels you through the mud. I mean, this has completely like ruined your life in so many different levels. Like, you know, they may not realize that you are a person, and you are a person with feelings and a soul, and a person who has a life and a family that you love, and friends, and you're sensitive, you know. So witnessing like you go through this annihilation of your life, and this just relentlessly being like driven through the mud, it's painful for me to watch, you know. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little flustered.
Thank you so much for saying that, and you are absolutely right. I have never sexually abused anyone in my life. I would never abuse another human being in any way.
You know, I am a survivor of sexual assault myself, and I deeply, deeply understand how profoundly impactful that is to your life, and what it takes to overcome it, and what it takes to survive that, and what it takes to keep your heart open and keep yourself like alive. So to witness, you know, from an outsider, the perspective of, fuck, like, any woman can say anything they want about any man, and then it's just automatically supposed to be believed without them being given the American right of being innocent until proven guilty.
I don't even...
So the mindset of cancel culture is problematic for so many reasons. The first is that cancel culture insists that any woman who claims to be a victim must be believed. And sadly, even though if it's on a rare occasion, some women lie. And when a woman is pretending to be a victim, she is stealing the support and the love from the millions of women who are actually victims of assault and sexual violence. And I don't know the exact stats, but I know that there are countless women right now who are victims of sexual abuse and assault, and they are the ones who need our support. They're the ones who need our love. They're the ones who need our attention. They're the ones that deserve it.
I mean, I agree. I could not agree more. And it's indescribable to convey the pain and the damage caused by these fucking random strangers and these people pretending to be victims and the whole insane mess and nonsense of cancel culture.
And not only does cancel culture allow some people to pretend to be victims, but it insists that any man who a random woman has made an accusation about is automatically guilty. And I can't even imagine what it would feel like if someone did that to my son or my brother, and I have seen what this has done to you. And this is the third problem with cancel culture, is that not only does it mandate that an innocent person be treated as guilty, but it goes even farther. Cancel culture insists that it has the right to exact punishment. So people who are participating in cancel culture are not only acting as a judge, they're acting as an executioner.
I don't even have the words to express. You're so right. But, you know, the heartbreak of my parents and my elderly relatives, like being called the worst, most vile, insane shit, a pedophile, child molester, like random people I don't even know insisting, calling me a known predator. It's not just fucking painful to me. It's not just hurtful. It didn't only destroy my life and my career. It destroyed my family. It broke the hearts of so many of my loved ones.
I would say that not only having created a name for yourself in the music industry that is just incredible, but also creating a movement of people that feel so much like they're a part of something that makes a difference and is beautiful. So for me to witness the way that the world has treated you despite that was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. It made me feel like I want to create something that's going to help to alleviate the pain and the suffering that you've endured throughout your journey of basically being like slaughtered and thrown to the wolves in a wildfire of the internet during a really difficult and challenging lockdown, COVID, Me Too movement, cancel culture time. It's not fair. It's not right. And it seems like, you know, I wanted to create a voice for people to hear and to be able to change the narrative that they've been sort of spoon-fed by the internet.
Yeah, it's funny how there's a common characteristic of humanity that is so easily confused, myself included. But despite being confused, people seem almost automatically self-assured at their own opinion being the single true opinion. And so watching these people who are so embarrassingly incorrect and misinformed, yet so self-assured that their opinion is, without flaw, to utilize that as a foundation for then acting out in violence and being destructive. It was twisted and sad to see so many people who could know better because the false narratives are so absurd, so blatantly fake. And so how do you jump from like 20 years of understanding something and then just like jump into the dirtiest rumor mill of TMZ and knowing that like you never flinched and you knew and understood the truth the whole time. But, you know, a lot of people did and do, and not a lot of people wanted to step up. And, part of my respect for you is I can tell that you and so many others in our crew and on our team, you have this fearlessness to be like, no, I'm gonna say the truth, even if it's not popular, because I know it's true. And I'm curious what you would have to say for other people, because we know, there's 1 million people every month on Spotify, different accounts listening to Bassnectar. There are hundreds of thousands of people who want to enjoy what we've created together, but they're afraid of cancel culture or of being attacked. And where it really shines to me is all of the musicians and DJs who were at one point a young Bassnectar fan before they were a producer. How many different, and specifically white dudes, all the white dudes in the scene who I had an enormous amount of energy and love for in kind of bringing them up, supporting their careers, promoting them, befriending them. So many of the people who should know better and who could so easily say it, they take this like kind of just twisted Gollum approach of pretending they don't know what Bassnectar is and really just kind of enjoying the magic carpet ride after knocking me down. And I know you see it, we've talked about it, but what would you say to them? Because obviously they're all friends and homies who could so easily say like, okay, I'm over it. 4 years into it, I don't believe this bullshit. I know those people are lying. I know Lauren, I know Bassnectar, I love this community, and I don't give a fuck if you have a problem with it. But they don't, and I think it's because of their gender. They just don't feel like they have the power to do that. So I'm really curious on your opinion about that.
I think that this started during a time, during the Me Too time, when men, especially white men, were generally made to feel like they couldn't have a voice, and if they were accused of anything, they just had to submit. Otherwise, they were just going to be completely tormented and driven through the mud. And I think that a lot of these artists are afraid of the same thing, and now so many years have passed, it's like, well, now they just want to wipe their hands clean and walk away. I mean, I've talked to many people who are like, well, I love Lauren, like, I know, but I don't want to say anything publicly because I don't want anyone to, like, they don't have the balls, like, they don't have the guts to say their truth, but they'll say it behind closed doors, or they'll say it to your face, but they're not going to put it online because they're afraid of annihilation, which is exactly where they should say it, to fight back and to be vocal. Because otherwise they're winning. The game here is to get either clout or this virtue signaling, or to kind of, you know, feel internally like they're being a warrior and that they're like socially standing for something and that they're getting justice, and even if it's not true. And in your case, the situation was that they started using all of these words, these like trigger words that are like so outlandish, like sex trafficking, victim and abuser and rapist and all this. So anytime any of that's going to come up, people don't have the capacity anymore to critically think and go, wait a minute, is this true or is this not true? The moment that they see a name associated with that, they're just going to run the other direction completely. And meanwhile, watching your entire like life being like obliterated, like for completely false reasons, you know?
Yeah, but you know, there's, you know, Azim, Ashel, I almost, once I start listing the courageous people who don't give a fuck about cancel culture and who just ride with us, I don't want to leave anyone out. There are so many more that I'm listing, but yeah, those individuals who have had the bravery and the spine to stand in the truth and to be a loud and proud artist in our community, you know, so much respect to them. But to those who don't, like, who now kind of are too afraid to, you know, vocalize the truth, and who are basically hiding to protect themselves from cancel culture, like, what would you say to them?
I would say that it really has to be like a group effort to fight against cancel culture, because first of all, you're not the only one. There's many. Like, it's a whole movement of being able to say something about someone online and getting a whole mob to come after you. And it's only going to get worse over time if people don't band together as a unified voice. There has to be more than like a few voices that have the guts to say something. Otherwise, the minds can't be shifted, you know, into the truth. It's always gonna stay locked into this place of not moving forward. And those people are strong voices. Like those, if there's something can be said, it's very impactful for like people who have a following. If they feel the truth and they know the truth, then, you know, yeah, I think it's just a matter of respect for your career and your all that you've created. It's sort of like, that's a really beautiful way to give back, to speak your truth and to have the guts to say what you feel in your heart and you know is real.
I mean, that's beautiful. I love you for thinking and saying that. I almost see it outside of just me. It's not like you have to talk about me, yeah, or not talk against me. It's more like just the overarching cultural dynamic of a few people who are clearly disturbed, if not psychotic, clearly abusing their power online, twisting words or spreading, you know, maliciously false information. The notion that a mere accusation of anything should result in a guilty verdict, B, punishment for that guilty verdict without any guilty verdict existing, is so perplexing to me. Like, obviously, if someone steps forward and they make an accusation, they're an accuser. They're not automatically a victim. And victimhood is a really serious thing. To be abused or to be treated in an egregious way and damaged and harmed, those people do deserve the support of the public. And so to pretend to be a victim, to cut in line in front of people, it doesn't even need to be women, just anyone who's been injured and wronged, and then pretend like you're a victim to get attention or money or clout or popularity or to promote your own career.
Or have your own Patreon page where people are donating to the cause.
Yeah,
I mean,
fuck
what?
That. But like, that's what I'm saying is it's such a larger concept.
Yeah.
That's where I see, you know, the men specifically, because women don't seem to have as much trouble saying the truth. You know, so many of the women on our team are shining so brightly because they are speaking the truth and they're authentic. And authenticity fucking matters, especially in this world where just so much of culture is so fake. Whereas online, there's such a discrepancy. You know, the trolls online, if they're women, are being fake by pretending that they're victims, or being fake by pretending that they're doing something good when they're not doing anything positive at all. They're just being negative.
Yeah.
Not to mention perpetuating absolute absurd lies. Whereas the men pretend to be superheroes by pretending that what it takes to be a superhero is to cancel an artist who you heard a rumor about, versus actually doing something, actually volunteering at a shelter for battered women, or actually spending time helping and healing someone who has been abused. It's just this really misinformed, ill-intended, disingenuous kind of public posturing where people virtue signal and they pretend that they're doing something good by just perpetuating toxic negativity instead of just standing up to it and calling it out for what it is and having the spine to say, this is bullshit.
Yeah, definitely.
It's sad because I see it as a sellout. Like, you're going to choose to have your own little DJ career and your own little slice of fame in exchange for selling out and not speaking the truth. And it rubs against two really core foundations in me. One is that raver mentality, peace, love, unity, and respect. There's no peace in allowing violence. There's no love in allowing hate. There's zero unity in allowing a community and a scene which we all originated and innovated together, and there's zero respect. So that's one thing that just seems so flagrantly out of line. And then the other is just the underground rage, and that's across all genres, like whether it's punk rock, death metal, the rave scene, rap, hip hop, shit that I can't even formulate words for. Underground scenes are so gorgeous and so rare and so special. And when you're a part of something like that, to not protect it and to just like sit there kind of protecting your little slice of the pie while the whole thing gets attacked, it's really sad. And you have been such a warrior against that. And I can, even just in a few months, like my outlook on 2024 is so different and fresh and exciting to know that I have these big sisters and these mama bears and these beautiful women who are circling their arms not just around me, but around the whole community to kind of flip the script. I have so much thanks, as you know, for you and for the whole community of Siren Sound Syndicate.
Yeah.
But I'd love to hear you say more about like why and how you're doing it, and also how you think that people, whether they're just a member of the community or they're a, quote, fan of the music, or whether they're an actual artist who knows in their heart that we're friends and that we've shared a lot and that I've done a lot for their career. Just what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, I'm grateful to be a part of it so deeply myself. And I would say, you know, like, it takes a village to recreate this culture, and like you say, to protect it and to revamp it. And we're never going to go back to how we were before, but we're going to move forward into even better directions. And for me, I have a lot of hope. I think people are feeling collectively like enough is enough. Like, enough is enough with being silent. Enough is enough with being allowing a cancel culture mentality to continue, allowing that to just like oppress people really and like not give them a voice.
And like you're saying, like, I mean, I listen to punk rock and I listen to rock and roll, and like all these, a lot of these DJs would have been like rock stars of a different genre back in the day. And what do those people have in common? They have balls. They get on stage and they say their truth and they say what's real. Whatever that might be, politically, or, fuck the police, or however, like, whatever they were feeling at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel what can be of assistance in helping Siren Sound Syndicate and helping the Bassnectar community at large is for people to just have a voice online, on social media, to even if it's as far as just going on different pages and saying, hey, I remember this time back in 2009, and this is my story. And there's so many stories of people who, I remember at the meet and greet, there was somebody, and it just really moved me because he was talking about how you really helped him, even personally on a therapeutic level, when he was suffering through the death of his mother. And there was just people piling in the meet and greet room, person after person, really in tears over, not just you, but the Bassnectar community at large, having been responsible for helping them through really, really difficult times. And I think that that's really worthy of not turning your back on. And that's a whole collective culture that we were a part of in California for decades. And the Bassnectar community was a big part of sculpting and refining. So I think, I would say, stand up for everybody's right to thrive in that way, and everybody's right to recreate a future that involves that beauty and that safety and that support and that community that was so compelling and drove people in their hearts and souls to travel all around the country to chase that feeling again of that unification. The way to really revive that is to be, a voice. If you have something to say and you have your truth to say, don't be afraid to say it. If there's everyone saying it at the same time, then that's how can a minority of people combat that truth?
I love you for that.
I love you too.
Well, on this Saturday, maybe we could wrap it there. I would love to have, obviously gonna do another kind of conversation with Ariel and one with Iris, and conversations hopefully with larger groups from Siren Sound Syndicate. But I'm really proud to have you be the first, and so excited for the future to come. Not just having you as a driving force protecting our community and curating and co-producing events, also as an artist contributing, but someone who I really want to support and empower and contribute in return. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm deeply honored and grateful to be a part of it, and to just be a voice and a friend and build a team of support to see and witness this whole community flourish again in the way that it deserves.
Oh, I guess one last thing would be, we're releasing some pretty exciting developments on the other side, including a kind of integrated Discord community haven. And I know we're going to have a separate Siren Sound Syndicate section. And so people who want to get involved within the next few days will be able to contact and interact with you, and see how they can contribute and be a part of your extended team, both on TOS and the Discord, but also Siren Sound Syndicate Instagram. You should show your love and support there. And I guess there's SirenSoundSyndicate.com too, yeah? Yeah,
there's SirenSoundSyndicate.com. There's Siren Sound Syndicate on Instagram.
So yeah, stay tuned for more interactive thought exchanges with the women of Siren Sound Syndicate, with Vivid, and all the other artists and lovely human beings here on TOS.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you too.